Right, so currently we have V3 Esports versus Sengoku Gaming. First ban is Rumble Syndra Jarvan for blue side, followed by Elise, Akali, Aphelios on red side. Seems pretty standard for this region. Rumble is a very strong flex pick. Syndra is obviously very strong, high priority there, and high priority in the whole world except for NA essentially. Jarvan is a rather high prioritized jungle pick, very rarely first picked though, but he's pretty good. So if you're running out of first picks to or tier 1 priority picks to ban, he's a good option there. Elise, Akali, both have 100% presence or close to in most regions. Aphelios is very highly prioritized, so I guess they're just choose to ban that as well for once. If you're gonna ban an AD carry, it's usually that one. Set, first pick, very standard drafting here, but if it's actually the correct thing to do is something you can argue. Right. That is responded with a misfortune and Lee. So misfortune is, I mean, if Aphelios is not on the table, it's usually tier 1 pick. Senna is very good as well. Those three champions rather, with Aphelios are usually the most prioritized champions in all regions when it comes to AD carries. Aphelios is slightly more prioritized than the other two, but if he's not in the picture, misfortune, Senna is standard. Jungle pick is also pretty good to blind pick here with Lee. Usually strong. Would rather probably prioritize Gragas, but this region does not seem to like him that much. As I say that, they lock him in on V3 for V3. Gragas is obviously very flexible, can play very aggressive, very strong synergy with a lot of champions, disengage, team fighting. The only real downside is his early game dueling is pretty weak, while Lee Sin's is obviously very strong. Now, blind pitting LeBlanc here makes them have the pretty strong 2v2, and they can ban out options for that lane, rather, for mid lane. Other option would have been to blind pick a support, but I guess they felt that they'd rather want to play through the mid lane and have a good 2v2 there, while still being able to get a counter pick potential for mid, I guess. I mean for top, by having it hidden. Also, considering they want to hide it, it's probably some pretty comp defining champion. So they don't really want to show their composition, how they'll be playing, because otherwise they would probably pick support here. Because support and top will probably be very composition defining, and as it looks right now, it could be something with split push, because Pantheon is pretty good to stop split pushers with his ultimate or something like that. It could also be to just have a strong to keep the strong 2v2 and denying the picks that Ace could do. Support would be something that does well into their team. Pretty good lockdown, probably some disengage. Safety, Leonis Bando, Nautilus still up. Let's say that you're looking into him. Nautilus does make sense, pretty aggressive potentially, can also work more as a disengage compared to some other champions. Support is kind of not a lot of options now. Braum would be probably one of the worst picks here. Thresh is good. Thresh would be a good pick. Braum is losing the bot lane. Braum does really bad into MF compared to popular belief of the counter to the ultimate, but it doesn't mean that you win the lane. You usually lose that, so you give up priority on bot lane, which Gragas kind of need. He's really good at ganking bot lane, but he needs to have priority, because if Lee comes, they just lose the 3v3 instead, really hard. So in this case, that kind of screwed up the whole thing. Jace, decent option. Sort of forces Gragas into absolutely going AP, so if he falls behind, their composition gonna be a lot weaker. And I think their 2v2 is weaker on both sides. Yorick is very interesting, meaning that they will go for the split push, as sort of expected. Yorick is obviously very forced into going into these 2v2s. I mean, 1v1s on the side lanes. He's not very great team fighter. He does have some area denial with his ring wall, but it's not really something you want to play through. So let's see here. Going into game, I suspect that the Lee will be playing through bot lane. They got priority on bot lane, and they also have the very strong 2v2 in mid, so they'll probably leave Yorick, as expected, on an island, right? The Set versus Yorick matchup is a bit... It's not something I've seen before, so I can't really put too much into it, but I think Set should have the upper hand in the one-on-ones. Yorick does, however, have a pretty good split pushing threat anyway, especially when he gets enough minions. That Set kind of... He should be able to clear those pretty easily, but still, I think it boils down to skill matchup, really. Lee will be doing a lot early game, trying to deny Gragas the ability to impact any of the lanes. I used actually, the longer I look at the V3 lanes and matchups, the worse it seems. Seems to be quite a lot of weak lanes. Game plan is not very clear. Are they gonna play to get Senna ahead? It's kind of hard. Don't really have a strong lane for that. Are they gonna play to get Jace ahead? Kind of hard. It's against LeBlanc. LeBlanc and Lee Sin. If Lee Sin comes, they absolutely wreck that 2v2. Really good gank setup as well for LeBlanc, so that's actually pretty scary to have Jace. Is gonna play through Set. Set is, I mean, Set has the potential to be a strong semi-carry, but Yorick, he's gonna be stuck against Yorick pretty much. So the Yorick pick is pretty strong because of the strong split push threat, forcing Set to always be reacting to what the Yorick does, or that Set tries to... Set will be looking to instead be the one dictating the split pushing, but it's still split pushing, right? So Yorick does okay in stopping that as well. So essentially V3 has no real lane to play through here where they'll have priority. So Greg is gonna have a rough time, and bot lane is gonna not have a fun time either. Mid lane is gonna have a very rough time as well, especially if Piran plays accordingly and doesn't screw up. Which, of course, it happens, but I think Piran should have the upper hand in the one-on-one as well. Or at the very least, once Lee gets to level 3. So looking into this, it looks like bot lane is trying to trade a lot. Could be getting the push advantage, could do a shader recall possibly. This trade is pretty bad. I don't think Piran should be trading early, because obviously Jace is still very strong early, but what they'll be looking for instead should be to just trying to get level 3, wait for Lee to do plays. Can speed this up probably. Good thing I actually have VODs now. Don't need to speed up a lot, but a little bit. Right, so Lee is doing a full topside clear. Gragas is doing buff Gromp buff, but he's going to Raves instead of going for level 3 gank. So in the end, he's kind of wasting time by doing for that, right? Could have just went mid instantly. It's a very off route by Boogie here. Choose to not do that. Instead, might try to contest Scuttle. Yeah, as I said, this 2v2, very strong. Don't want to screw with that. Instead, should probably look to play through the top side of the map. Wasting a lot of time in that way. Upperman is kind of going low. Yeah, Blank is really getting up there. Yes, his golem's gonna respawn soon. Kind of problem is he didn't get for the Grom because it's still 10.2, right? Should be 10.3. So in that case, yeah. So that they didn't get Gromp is kind of unlucky. Or rather, it's not unlucky, it's just slight mispathing. I think he would rather had gone for buff Gromp, easily, and then you can go for double Scuttle, and then after going double Scuttle, you can clear your top side into your boss side again for the second Gromp, and you would have been level 5 by now. Now this is kind of scary. Opperman is obviously not respecting the Gragas. She's combo Predator. Alright, we'll go back and look at that a little bit. So Gragas has clear bot side. They should expect this from how he's been pathing, where he's been seen, that he clear bot side. So he should be walking top side, right? So either he clears this and then goes top, or he straight up goes top. And since Yorick is pretty out of mana, he should be scared. Now this wave is pretty big, and from looking at how he paths, he should kind of already been bailed out, but guess he's kind of slow to react. Very kind of risky, and also having that pushed up allows Set to have frozen the wave anyway, and in that case he would have been losing anyway. So that was just all around bad play. He's TPing here. I don't think that's really correct either, because he's gonna slow push into him anyway. So in the end, he doesn't actually gain much. I guess this in a way forces the TP out of Set too, but trading T for TP is actually not a play because he didn't have to, while Set now has to. So if he's expecting to be able to stay in lane longer, then yeah, I guess it's kind of worth, because their bot side is stronger. So no, that doesn't even make sense, because if their bot, if SG bot lane is stronger, that means that Gragas will be looking to play through top side instead, and will be ganking him again. So in that case, he would want TP to get back into lane when they're trying to force him off the tower. So yeah, I think this is just a bad play. An understanding of what it actually does. Not really sure what he's trying to do here. He's just wasting time. Now he flashes though. His ultimate dies. It's unlucky too. Kinda get caught out in the middle of nowhere. So let's look at the state. Even though Yorick has been ganked, he's up in CS, and jungle is a lot up in CS for Blank. Mid lane is quite even, bot lane is quite even, right? So this should, in a way, I think SG is kind of fine with this. That's very risky. Trying to really hold that wave for as long as possible. I think it actually did start touching the wave. new Gragas for top side, so should be safe on bot side to do whatever. Not sure why he's walking down to the river now. Lots of pinks going down. Should probably try. Lee should be looking to get Herald. Herald should be pretty free because Gragas has been clearing top side and should be almost done, so he's gonna move bot side. But he chooses not to. Alright, so Gragas recalled. Probably looking to. Oh, well, he just killed Senna. Because Braum was off somewhere else. Where's Braum? Like, is Braum not in lane? Then they kind of lose that. Senna is chilling bot lane now. She's healthy. Braum is in base. Why are they not synced up? Right, so Braum's recalling, Senna recalling. Okay, so he's holding the wave here. I think this is a bad call. Really forcing into holding this wave for no real reason. Like, MF can just shove it into the tower anyway, and they're getting desynced recalls. Alright, so now Braum is recalling. Senna is back to lane. MF is in lane still, and Nautilus is healthy, so he can move bottom. Now, I don't exactly know what they're doing here. I guess they're trying to group. Maybe they lost track of where Gragas actually is. This is good word to know when he actually passed the bot side. So yeah, stuff is gonna happen bot lane now. Senna is there alone. Braum walks mid. I think walking mid has you usually walk mid as support to try and see if you can get something done, maybe prevent a gank, or anything like that. But in this case, you should walk bottom because the enemy laners are there and your AD carries alone on bot lane, and they have very good engage on her. Like, they're very good reach. It's not like she's not gankable, right? She used both summoners and dice anyway. Enemies used ignite. So that's pretty rough for her. She also used her ultimate, a very long cooldown on that early on. Gragas, they spot Gragas out, they know where he is now. Lee can be pathing to top sign, trying to sneak in Herald, unless Gragas tries to pass somewhere really randomly, which is he actually seems to be doing. I guess they figure out. Oh, okay, he going for Scuttle to try and hold Herald, but Herald is not really doesn't really matter because he can just tank it in the inside of the pit, right? Pretty risky, not necessary play. So yeah, also Blank did get spotted on a ward there. Oh, he could get ganked here. Blank is around the corner though. So yeah, this should be counter gank from Blank, keeping you safe. Right. Let's see here. Let's have a reality check a little bit. Dragon is spawning. Did anyone go recall to prepare for it? Can I just have to go back? So we know Dragon is up in 30 seconds, over like 1/2 minute here. So in this case, they might want to get something done to make sure they can set up vision. Vision is something they're kind of looking to get for now. They have some vision here. 40 seconds before. If they have any gold unspent, I think MF has quite a bit. He's been staying in lane for a long time, so I think at this point he should just recalled and then gone back to lane. When did MF buy something last time? I mean, at this point, 100% she can get Greaves. She bought stuff there. 88 CS. She could have bought Greaves for sure. Maybe she could even finish. Got in crit cloak. A lot of stuff, really. And that's the most important part. Maybe middling could do as well. Actually, middling did recall here, and Dragon is spawning now. They should be ready to take it as it spawns to make sure the enemies cannot contest it. Although I don't think V3 wants to contest it. They don't really want to risk being up there and getting caught. But in case they do, they want to. They could have been done with it now to make sure that Boogie could not go in and steal it, or Shock Blast is just a safer play. Right, so Ace is getting kind of chunked. Cool, cool. Ace might have to recall here. Actually, he does have potions. So maybe he's gonna stay around. Oh no, he's recalling. Oh, MF's getting caught by Snare. Retaliate with an ultimate. Braum is dead. I think. Or not. Unlucky. Oh, he's getting slammed to tower. Oh, that's close. How did he get... How does this even happen? So... They take Dragon, right? And they know that Lee could still be bot side. Like, he's running around on Scuttle, I think. Yeah, so he's taking Scuttle. They know Scuttle has spawned on bot side. They know he should be able to be on bot side. So they know that he's... Did he even walk into the ward? Yeah, he even peeked into the vision probably. So they know he's bot side. So I don't know why they are at this position, getting caught out. Dying for, or even fighting for this ward is not worth it anyway. In this case he didn't die, but he got chunked out. Did Upperman get caught? So they're catching him from behind. I don't think Upperman has any ward up, but he has a ward in his inventory, or his trinket rather. So this shouldn't really actually happen. Now they're taking Rift Herald, because Lee was bot side and he... Why is he not recalling? Okay, so he's trying to go plates. And for plates, they loosen Herald. Which probably is gonna get chunked down top lane really quick. Getting a replay here. We know what happens here. Oh, wait, what? It keep going? Right, so they're really low here. Blank goes around. Kicks. Q. Gets a kill, gets a double kill. Okay, so they die as well for it, so I think that's fair. Right, so let's see. Piran is shoving mid. Archer is shoving up bot lane. Currently have no idea where Lee is. Actually, they do. He walked past the ward twice, so now they're backing off really hard. Wait, okay, so they went for Herald. At this point, Herald was taken. He's not going to put Herald in any lane for the gold. Kind of odd option, I think. But I guess maybe he has a bigger plan. Spectator sort of lagged up there. Right, sort of forcing off her from the wave again. They're just using the ultimate to push him off. Really, they're not using it for the actual kill or trying to wombo combo or anything like that. They're just ulting to clear the wave and get sent off the wave, maybe get her scared, to then get a good recall timing, and then the wave will push down back their way. So MF has about a minute or so before it actually gets to their tower. Alternatively, they can have LeBlanc trying to catch him. Let's see here. Set has taken the tower there up top together with their Herald before. Although it wasn't the first tower, I think, so. In a way, Yorick kind of likes the situation. Like, it doesn't feel good, I guess, but it is fine. Because he said he's kind of forced to stay in that lane now until someone else comes and grabs that lane. Because Dragon is spawning soon, they cannot leave the top. Set cannot rotate bot lane to then trade with the bot lane. So SG in a pretty demanding position right here. Fighting for this dragon is not what they want to do, but I guess they feel that they can. Also, it's they should not fight for this. It would be better if at this point York just stayed, put pressure on top lane, then maybe give up the dragon for a tower, which is worth, because dragon is actually like Dragon Soul is not a win condition for their team. I mean, it's good, right? It helps, but the actual value of it is neglectable in the grand scheme of things, because they can secure dragon slayers, but like the tower is gonna be more impactful at this moment. Guess this Pokken is kind of bad actually. They're not sure why they're fighting this. Like, nothing is up really. Like, they're not even fighting for the dragon right now, right? They're just kind of Aram. Well, Yorick is shoving bot lane. They should just been chilling back here. They should just not go in for pokes. Gragas goes in from the side and flashes. Right, Emma's trying to ult back, but can't really get anything done. Guess they're getting Scuttle, so in a way, small victory. But they died for it, so... bot lane lose a lot of gold there, so... How big is the wave on bot lane? It's pretty big. I think in gold and experience wise, SG won on this. No, and like the Scuttle solidified that. If V3 does not get this dragon, which is kind of risky to go for, even though they're 5 now, they kind of don't have cooldowns, while they still have kick and things here, and reset. Wait, did dragon really reset? Yeah, it reset because of the aggro switch, so it made sure that they couldn't take it as well. So they lose dragon as well. Right, so V3 is in a really bad position here. They lost a lot of gold. They can't feel like, oh, we got a kill, but lost so much CS on that. And Scuttle as well, pretty valuable. Experience-wise now, they might even lose some more experience. At least 3 minions. Which add up, of course, over the course of the game. This is kind of... I think the TP was pretty risky, but I think it turned out well because the enemy team wasn't really reacting fast enough to it. Gold difference should be about 3,500 now, I think. Right, that reset made sure that Boogie could not burst it down. It's kind of unlucky. Maybe it could have been an actual like fight over that, but let's see. It's 3,000 gold difference. They're catching waves now. Well, the enemy's already shoved up their lane, so it's gonna bounce back slightly. I don't know why Set does that W here. It does no damage, like it hasn't any grit or anything. It just tickles them really. Autos, 1 auto. He doesn't even like, he had 0 grit when he used that, so that's a waste. Boogie is on bot side now though, so because they cleared top side before, right, during the replay, and now they have taken the red, which you should see on the map potentially. But he knows that Gragas is probably bot side, and because they're pushing top lane now, so they should be able to try and spot out people before walking up. They know that since they're pushing top, where is the enemy jungler? Well, he's not there, so where is he? I don't know. Oh shit, he is 1v2 them. Right. York is pretty good in this scenario, I guess. Damn, that's a god. Okay, so yes, Trinity. I just realized how this happened because I haven't been paying attention to what they're actually building. Set doesn't do anything because he has Black Cleaver. He has no dueling power in this case, so he's not going to be very strong. Gragas is obviously not the strongest here either. Not only like Runic Echo stunned, so he'll be on the weak side there. Meanwhile, Yorick has Trinity, and even though he's kind of down on gold individually, or was at least in purchased items, I think this is also pretty bad because he ulted so late, so he kind of got time to just hammer down. Yeah, there's a lot going wrong here. Taking tower shot matters a lot, especially when he's very, very strong. I don't think they can go for this dive at all. Like, even though, like, okay, let's say he actually he's not fighting back. He would have just walked back under tower, right? They don't have the damage, in short. And it's too close to the tower. So in all ways and possible direction, that's a bad play. That's kind of expected in a way. I think Paz is not as strong or as good player as he used to be last year. Appaman is for sure like just a middle of the pack player, but like this is stuff that Paz should know. That if you're not going Trinity on set, you can't really duel people. In that case, you're only going for the being a chunky front line, which they're kind of lacking. So I guess that is the thought process. Don't agree with it, but I guess that is the thought. Right. So currently they're kind of bleeding out through the bot lane. This York is just too big. Meanwhile, AD carry difference is very big right now as well. MF has two half item. Senna has 2 items too, as well. But MF items are way more impactful in a vacuum, or rather, together. And level difference is 3 levels. Probably even more impactful than the actual items right now. Senna is just really low on levels. Oh, Lee kind of got locked up there, so he couldn't really kick. Oh, that's unlucky. Senna, this fight is really messy. They're kind of running around after things. Yeah, this is a throw, if anything. So here they're kind of going for a pick. They don't really need to. Dragon is up. Like, Dragon is spawning in 3 seconds. They want it for Soul, right? They want to guarantee. They think like, okay, we can do for a kick, pick, and secure it. But they can only win that fight, right? At Dragon. So this is not necessary. They kind of got baited because they're not paying attention to their stopwatch. And... what? Oh my god, really? Right. They know that there are people around. They know that they just saw 4 people mid. They were around the corner. So they know that this should just not happen, right? They're like, okay, maybe they left and they're just trying to do a quick pick. But Gragas obviously has Predator, very fast. Not very... this is also very greedy. Can't really chase down the Gragas as well. Maybe with enough time, but even then it's like, I don't know. Aquaman is the hero that we need but don't deserve. Takes down... he can take down Inhibitor at this point. But I guess he's kind of worried, I guess. It makes sense. Can he do this 1v2 again? Probably not, right? Nah, he doesn't have the minions at this time, so... yeah. Now... so they're walking past wards. They're not really looking that he does get help. From parents coming, this they know that both of them coming here. Boogie. What is that? Can I see that again? Okay, so Perion goes back here. And they know that Perion goes over there and chase that down. Then he goes back to try and backdoor. He's not gonna get away, but that's pretty good jukes. I give him that. Oh my god, he does it again. I wasn't even paying attention. Is he gonna get away? I think Piran is... my god. No, he's not gonna get away from that. Alright, it was a good chase. Good chase though. What really disturbs me mostly is that they didn't get the dragon here. They haven't really went for the dragon during this whole time. Jay's kind of going on it, but Lee could have just went on it here. I don't know why he's backing off. This is kind of... I don't know. She just went for dragon. Now this fight should not really happen. Oh my god, MF took it. So they have a free dragon. Gragas does have smite, but it misses it with 10 damage. 10 damage. Right, so Sengoku game is secures Dragon Soul, and even though they're up 3k gold still, nothing are really advanced in terms of gold. I just hit 300 minions at 26 minutes, holding a pretty good pace. Not sure why he smoked, but I guess he's kind of scared. Right. We'll see that again in slow-mo probably. 10 damage. Insane. Actually bullshit. How you can screw this up. Boogie have not been performing this game. Like, it looks, stats wise, he has been performing, but he's kinda missed smite, not been pathing correctly, been giving up kills, bad plays. It's just like stat wise, sure, it's a good game, but it's really not. Brom have rushed the locket instead of going for the Nice File, which I think is usually better for single target survival. Where in Locket, which has the AoE potential to survive, but most of the time it's not gonna be the case. Like, sure, MF ulti, but components are not really there. Right, so Zed is just a tank right now, he doesn't do anything. Meanwhile, Yorick has huge split threat pressuring this inhibitor, which he should really be doing, because if they get that down, they can start pressuring Baron for free. Now, the odd part is that they're not really trying to get for Yorick, but they're rather trying to think that the set can hold this in any way. Obviously cannot. Sengoku game is kind of playing this a bit too fast, I think, in how they do this. But yeah, they got inhib anyway at this point, so they might as well hard commit into the fight and then disengage, or they're just gonna keep losing. Because if they bounce around more, it's just forever lost. Surprised that Yorick even backs off here. You can just keep putting pressure each wave. Letting off this pressure is actually pretty bad, because that means that now Zed can TP, and if Yorick was in position to keep pressuring there, Zed could not TP. Fight could have been slightly different, and in that case, he could have been, and if Zed TP'd here, he would be hitting on Nexus turrets, right? So this is a play where he's thinking like, oh, I need to join my team, but really he does not, right? Right, let's just do that. Let's see here. So now they're once again securing Baron. Surprised they didn't manage to do that before, but I guess they're just kind of they're kind of losing a lot of tempo and pressure on the map by this Yorick play. Really, could have just Yorick is a huge part of their pressure on the map, but once he backed off, the other team had to react that he no longer had that pressure, so they couldn't really fight. Right. We're getting a rematch on that. 4v5. This makes it even dumber, because why are they fighting? Why is he walking up there? He's just getting caught. Now he's dead. Rest team should just let him die. Tori's getting some CS in between. Right, so this is just bad, really. Very greedy. Going in for a fight, not really paying attention to how your team is or position about it. Should not be a fight. Like, this game should have been over at this point if that didn't happen. For Elder Dragon, obviously they have full control. Still, even though that, they're still ahead very much. Much feel bad to be Jace being a 404, but you can't do anything. Alright, so now they're sieging mid. Baron. Yorick is pressuring on top, while super minions are pressuring bot side. So this is fine. This huge bot lane. Oh, never mind. It's just Yorick minions, really. Right, so now they're going on here because they had to leave and pressure the actual Nexus turrets. Now they're making sure all inhibs are down. Pretty safe. Game should be over here. Just so much, really. Minions. Very empowered minions. Fighting just last grasp. Oh shit, what is that burst? Look at Set here, just popping this MF here. Or not the MF, but the little bonk. I think. Or no, it's blank. Just get popped here. Standing in the true damage. Right, okay. Well, didn't really matter in the end. Still game over. Right. Right, so to summarize, the game was pretty over when Set could not side lane against the Yorick anymore. Because Yorick has so much side lane threat that not being able to duel him means that, or even get close to dueling him, means you have no pressure. Even at 1v2, Yorick wins that fight at that moment. This is part due to itemization and things like that, so he's just essentially not a champion. Now, what also kind of ruined it was how they played the map around that. The draft was pretty bad. They really didn't have any strong sides or any strong lanes to play through for Gragas. So draft was bad, and like a lot of the plays, Boogie had no pressure. He's just going off dying and just like not very impactful Gragas pick, sadly. And then obviously the game could have ended faster if Yorick played or communicated with the team rather. I don't want to put it on the Yorick. It's rather more like the team that went in instead of just playing it safe and waiting for the Yorick to get back on with pressure, right? So that's pretty much the first game.